Welcome back from the Collaboration Innovation Showcase. We are back in the studio and we have a little bit more collaboration to share with you. Let's first start that with a demo. Lauren brings that to us now.
Hey everyone, I'm here with Johan and Andre in the collaboration space. And we're going to talk a little bit about what are the highlights of the collaboration space this year at Cisco Live.
Well, we got a number of highlights again, like last year. And this year, we're going to focus on a number of things, like the first one being, of course, Spark as a great tool of team collaboration. We got that on hardware devices, software, mobile devices, many different devices, all here in the showcase here at Willow Solutions. That's number one. There's two more. Number two is the amazing video endpoints that we got. We just brought a new device, the Room 70, which is amazing. Come see it. And then the third one is customer interaction, which is also amazing for small groups, but also for large groups, right? The formal contact center that we have here, right?
And I'd like to chime in a little bit in one of those things. You know, often when we talk about collaboration, we look at all the big things, bring all the technologies and everything together, but sometimes it's the simple, small things where the real opportunity lies. And secretly, we've launched something huge at the collaboration booth, and if they come here, just around the corner you can see it, it's new headsets. Now you'd think headsets is not a big business for us. It's a $1 billion opportunity to sell new headsets.
It is amazing, amazing. You know, first iteration, looking absolutely amazing. Wired headsets. We're going to come out with more. Not sure if we can disclose more, but you know, no. Okay.
All right, not here right now, but stay tuned for more information. Okay, so you know the keynote this morning was all about forward-looking things, the future. Can you share with us what we're looking at for Spark as far as innovations?
Well, a lot of innovation coming, and you know, it was amazing. This morning's keynote was just simply amazing, and we saw that glimpse into the future. However, there's some of this stuff which is real. It's out there, it's here again at World Solutions. You can, well, you can't touch it because it's virtual, as in virtual assistant, Spark Virtual Assistant. It's in our Room System 70 and some other systems as well. That's number one, and we also show a prototype here at World Solutions of virtual reality. It's not a product, it's not meant to be a product, but it shows the power of integration that we can offer with APIs, integration, future looking. You know, I'd say it puts us on the trail to anything and everything that Rowan talked about this morning. And one more, right? So what we do with the infrastructure is we count faces, so that's great ROI for people that run infrastructure like, hey, we deployed Cisco devices, but are they used? Do we need to make smaller rooms, bigger rooms? How many people are actually using the system? So a lot of feedback, and again, live. It's not something out there in the future. It is here, and it's live.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're getting customer feedback and input on that too, so very good. Tell us, there's a lot of people doing collaboration right now. What are some of the differentiators that Cisco has, why people should really be looking at Cisco?
Well, I could bring a ton of differentiators, but there's only one I would need this audience to remember. It is every other vendor in this space is a point product provider. They've got one piece of the solution. We are the only vendor, the only one in the entire market that's got the entire breadth of the portfolio, from on the premises, in the cloud, hardware, software, the entire thing.
And Andre, not to forget, we just introduced a great way of buying this stuff, right? Flex Plan, flexible and plan, it's a subscription. It offers you flexibility, so you just buy one license, which I think is amazing, simple. Absolutely. Well, that's what we want it to be. You buy one license, you deploy however you like. Some pieces on-prem, some pieces in the cloud. It gives you ultimate flexibility, and it's a subscription. Flex Plan.
Wow, easy licensing and fees coming from Cisco, I love it. So what's our call to action, guys? What should we have the customers do, either here or if they're watching from home?
So only one real feedback. We've got, as we talked about, some amazing technology. The one thing I want everybody to do when they get out of here, go back, is start using the newest technology to join the meetings. Stop using WebEx to join a WebEx meeting. Use the Spark client. Use the Spark client to join the meeting, do video conferencing, share content, and stay in the moment every single time, every single moment of the day.
So I should start clicking join on that Spark
Absolutely.
Notification.
Use Spark for everything.
All right, thank you so much, gentlemen. You heard it here, Spark is it's going to keep moving, folks. There's going to be more and more innovation. So stay tuned, check it out, and thanks for watching.
You know, we make a lot of neat stuff here at Cisco, and I love talking about new technologies. I love talking about new products and stuff that we can encourage people to try out. But what I'm really fascinated by are customers who are actually not just taking and using the technology, but actually saying, how is this going to work in our particular organization, and how can we push that envelope? We talk about digitization within Cisco. We preach it as if it's something simple and everybody's just going to start doing. but I have a feeling that reality is just not exactly like that. But there are companies that we can begin to emulate who are pushing that envelope, and it's my pleasure to introduce the CEO and, CTO and CDO, make sure I get all the things, Chief Development Officer? Digital Officer, gosh, I never get it right. Dirk Romholst?
Yes.
Okay, and you're from Wacker Chemie, correct?
Yes.
And you guys are a 104-year-old chemical company.
Yeah.
So very an old style, not necessarily something we associate with digital, and to make sure we get everybody introduced here, because I want you to be able to jump in on this as well. Dr. Claudia Kafer,
yes.
You're the CEO of Frink Advanced Services, and you guys have been working tightly together to change how work gets done and what you guys focus on. Can you walk us through what you have been working on there at Wacker Chemie?
Yeah, so thanks for being here. The traditional IT job is done if you go live. So if you're successful if you are in time, in budget. But if the product, the solution is used afterwards, usually it's not in scope of IT.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah, and in order to do the difference, we started a pilot with Frinks and Claudia herself in order to understand the usage and how we can influence the usage. And we used as a pilot a group of 100 users of Jabber, which had only used Jabber to a degree of 30%. Means 30% out of 100 users. And we trained the users in the product. We gave instructions to the users, but we gave them also a kind of full coverage in terms of named IT staff that's supporting them. And
personalizing that IT support experience.
Yeah, giving, let's say, the face of
face
IT.
to a name,
yes.
or to a position.
We also introduced some avatars because we were not sure which kind of fancy figure the people in my organization want to follow.
Right.
And we had an animal and a kind of superhero kind of stuff. And I mean, two results, two KPIs. The usage was tripled in terms of from 30% to 90%.
Okay.
And the group of 100 users was extended by recommendation to more than 140. So people told to others, hey, this is good, cool stuff. Hey, please join. And so it worked.
So
it worked very well.
incentives.
Yes.
So let me make sure, I want to recap something you said there at the beginning that really set this up, I think is important, is obviously we normally think of expense as IT as an expense to be managed down. Each year you get a little bit less, but you get a lot more responsibility historically.
Yes.
And then also, as a former salesperson, I think of, I have sold you, let's say, a number of seats of Jabber. I'm done because you bought Jabber. What you're saying is, no, that's not it at all. You don't consider things successful in IT unless users are actually doing something with the technology, getting work done perhaps more efficiently. Yeah. Is that indeed what you're talking about, really the user adoption side?
Yes, it's exactly what behind the idea of user adoption. I joined Wacker about 1.5 years ago, and I found a lot of shelfware. I mean, licenses that have been bought and put in the shelf, but without usage. And without usage, there's no benefit, there's no value out of those things. And so we are changing the IT shop under my leadership into a value contributor as a kind of catalyst to bring the whole organization to a higher level of energy and make things happen in terms of get usage into those products that until now have been just stored on the shelf.
So let me ask you, is this an easy thing to do?
For us it was. We had a fantastic customer, but I think the way we always compare it is if you buy a really expensive pair of ski, you go on the ski, you don't have training, you don't know what it's for, you don't know how to do it properly.
Just point downhill, my kids do.
They will end up in the basement, never be used again, right?
Yeah.
And that's an experience we see very much with customers, right? So they buy these expensive licenses with Cisco, and then they don't cover it fully, right? So they don't get the return they actually invested. And I think that was important for us to kind of get that out of the investment already.
Yeah, and there are two perspectives. One is the, let's say, entrepreneurial perspective of the company saying, I bought something, I'm not using it. Right. But there's also a frustration level on the employee level because you get something and nobody has asked you about what kind of problem you have. So, I mean, the traditional joke in IT is we creating solutions, but afterwards we ask for the problem.
Yeah, it's in search of
so we try also to change this angle in terms of understanding the challenges of the people, in terms of use cases and personas. I mean, every person might have a different one, and then try to come up with the solution as the answer to solve the problem.
So give me a specific example inside the company. a specific group of people and how they're using solutions a bit differently based on what you've just expressed?
Okay, just one simple example in the sales area. So we have a traditional field-oriented sales organization. Salespersons travel to the customer, trying to sell our chemical products, and they're lacking, in some areas, they're lacking technical skills. So they need a technical sales to support them. But those technical sales guys are a rare species. So they can't support all the customers at the same time. And based on the usage of the Cisco Spark, we are now introducing a so-called call the expert solution, where the sales guy in front of the customer can invite a technical sales guy virtually into the meeting, and so problems are solved in the moment they occur.
So you don't leave that customer with an unanswered question just because it got in a technical depth you weren't familiar with.
Exactly. So
or
this
something
is
like
basically
that.
the idea, and we do it with Cisco Spark.
But I think the interesting aspect, in particular with that question, why user adoption is so important, is those guys are like, oh my God, all my business class flights are gone right now, all my business trips, right? I cannot go and see the customer anymore. And actually, that was not the goal of the project. The goal of the project was better support for customers, and you guys keep your flights, but somebody needs to tell them. And it needs to be clear what's the goal of the project, what's not. So that's part of the anti-campaign around user adoption in this case.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your input and everything you're doing to help drive, because I understand this is a cultural change. What would you give as an example or advice to your peers, other either chief digital officers or probably technical leadership that doesn't maybe have that title at this point?
I think a strong advice to everybody is it's not done just by deploying things. It's only done when people use it afterwards and the real value is created.
We need to redefine what we mean by usage and what we mean by adopting a technology.
Correct.
Seems simple, but I love the concept. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing.
Thank you very
It's
much.
a pleasure.